650,000 X in 14. It's gonna explode. Kaboom.
It's going to be 250x, 120 days following the launch.
Like he said, Martha, he said nobody have a
in the house.
The original projection.
The market cap might be like trillions. Like Satama. Jakinator, where are you? Hey, sir. Sir, you used to be an admin. What happened? Now you put in music?
Bro, what's your deal, man?
I know. If I put in music, you could have banned me out.
If I wanted to, I could. I haven't. I've never banned anybody for playing a song. So don't know where you're coming from, bro.
He was opening the book of speculation and tripped and fell on the mic, and he was just jamming. And that was bonus background music.
I'm going to create a new coin, guys.
What is it called?
Kit
Pussy
Kat.
X. Pussy X 10,000 X. I'm going to call it Pussy X 10,000 X.
I'm all in on that one.
How you like that name? Pussy X 10,000 X. And Pulsechain.
Kit Kat coin. What's up?
Oh, I'm talking about Pulsechain and Pussy X. I want to tweet that to Richard Hart.
Bro, sounds like you need to go get laid, dude.
I get laid 4 times a day, cuz.
I don't think so.
I do.
This guy's killing me.
Oh, I get laid 4 times. I got 2 wives, man.
You got like 5 wives.
I get laid 29 times a day, bro. Top that.
Bro, I just came from Brazil. I went hunting for pussy. You know Brazil? I got extremely laid off. Not laid off, extremely. That's why I want to name my coin 10,000 X, bro.
Hey, did you find some camels over there?
Where are camels? We're in Brazil? Which country we talking about, Smarty? You talking about Palestine, Brazil. Israel? You talking about mini United States over there?
Hey, Smarty. What are you talking about there, Smarty?
Talking about camels. You don't know fucking Israel, Palestine control the United States.
I like camels. Camels are cool. What's your camel's name?
I don't have no camel.
Humpy.
I smoked a camel.
Okay, fasten your seatbelt. Enjoy the hump. And add some gas. Water gas, buddy.
Kit Kat, man. What are you smoking, man? I want some of that.
I'm not smoking, man. I didn't sleep for a week. I'd be fucking too much.
Oh, I know this convo is really important, but I have a pulse-related question.
Go ahead, buddy. I can
Please.
help you.
Please, man. Please.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
it's mainly, I'm just curious when I ask this. I'm just curious, and before I speak any further, I'm not trying to badmouth the project or anything. I'm just curious. So the devs, right? Whenever we connect our hardware wallets to the staking platform, if that's what it's called. So on testnet, I staked my PulseX, or not staked it, but whatever it's called, where you receive the interest. Maybe it is staking. I don't know, but I have to give permission. I have to give access to my funds. It says you have to give access, blah 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 blah, and the devs are in control of that, right? And I know I asked questions about that because that weirded me out, and I asked if they wanted to, could they do something with my crypto or run off with it? And somebody replied, yeah, they could, but we don't have shitty devs. But what would ensure that they wouldn't do that? It's just all in trust.
Well, I may try to. It's not the devs that control it, so it's whoever did the code. So you have to, whenever you do something like this, it's the same on Uniswap. You need to get approval to change something so that people can make a swap, or so that you can make a swap, you need to approve the original token unless it is the source one, so the Pulse or the ETH. So theoretically, yes, if someone does a wrong contract or a bad contract, you can lose everything that you have on that thing that you approve. One way that you can go around it is when you approve, you can change the amount that you are approving, and you can approve only the amount that you want to change. But that means that you will have to approve it every time you do a transaction like this. So the answer is yes. If the contract is a scam, you may lose everything. If you don't want to do that, you approve just what you want, or you read the contract and make sure that it does what it's supposed to do.
It's the same as with Uniswap. I mean, if you have to approve the tokens that you want to swap.
Okay, I didn't know it was the exact same because I've done swaps and I've connected to the exchange or however it works. But I just remember when I wanted to stake my PulseX, and maybe all staking platforms have this on DeFi exchanges. It was, do you grant permission to to have this whoever have access to your funds? And I was like, oh wow, that's kind of keeps me uneasy. But I mean, I would trust Richard Hart and his people before I would trust anybody else. So,
Well, you've done swaps on Uniswap, right?
well, right, but I didn't know doing swaps would give them access to my funds, because I've never read anywhere, I've read giving permission to like connect to the wallet, but when I staked my PulseX, it says, do you give permission for this whoever to have access to your funds? And I was like, so is that basically the same thing as if I do a swap on a DeFi exchange?
It's two different things that you said now. Thing is to give permission to access your account. That's okay, you can do it, because the only thing that they can do is to see what you have on your account. The other thing is to give permission to access your funds. And like I said, when you do a swap, if you do a swap for anything other than the main coin, so ETH on the Ethereum network and Pulse on the Pulse network, you have to approve that they can access to your tokens. That's the same everywhere. PulseX, Uniswap, SushiSwap, BNC, whatever.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I never. Well, I assume that's how it was when I first did, because the first time I tried staking ever was the fake Pulse on the Pulse network, And I'm like, okay, I guess all staking and pool platforms are like this on all DeFi exchanges.
It's
So
correct, yes, they should be.
another question would be, why does it have to be like that? You know, I don't know how much I understand how the pools or the staking works, but why is it that DeFi exchange for staking or pooling, they have to have access to your funds? Why is that? Isn't there a way we could go around that? I mean, I guess if there was a way, they'd be doing it because nobody would want that. But just out of curiosity, why does it have to be like that?
The only way that you have to keep the coins on your side, if you don't need to approve something, there are some staking places where you actually send the coins somewhere, so they are not on your possession. So that's the worst one. They can lose it wherever you want. The difference between the DeFi and the other ones is because the DeFi, the coins are with you. If you go to the places like Binance and stuff, you can do it. You don't need to approve anything because you never own the coins. The coins are not yours. They control everything that you have, so you don't need to approve anything. So to do whatever they want to do. But that's the only way to do it because the solidity contracts, that's the way that they are written. There is a function that's called approve, and that's the one that needs to be used to allow someone or some other wallet or some other contract to interact with your coins.
Okay, I follow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a subtlety here. When you are using Uniswap and you give permission for the token approval, you aren't giving necessarily approval for the devs to do anything. You're giving approval for the contract to interact with your wallet. And that's a subtlety,
Correct.
but it's a very one. So that's important so you don't think that when you're giving these approvals that you're giving them to devs, you're giving them to the contract. Now, having said that, the proviso is that there are some nefarious contracts out there that obviously will, if they steal your money, they might have approvals that you're giving them that they don't tell you. Those you have to be very careful of. But the general ones that ask you for approval, you're not giving the devs the approval, you're giving the contract approval.
Right, and that's why you should either how to read the contract to know what you're doing, or at least stick to the ones that are trusted and verified, and don't approve anything to some weird places.
The contract has to interact with your wallet. In order to do that, you have to give it permission. But it's a contract interacting, not the devs specifically.
Thanks, everyone. Y'all are swell guys.
Yeah, I mean every potential nuance to keep your keys, and to protect you as best as possible is implemented by this team. There is no stone unturned to keep your funds safe. That much you can know. I mean,
Right.
is
I've been
higher ethos.
I've been a part of Rich Your Heart's team and chat before Hex even launched. So, I mean, like I said earlier, if I'm gonna trust, it's Rich Your Heart. What'd you say, Remorph? Were you trying to say something?
Yo, hey, my bad. I actually came in. I'm a little late. I was like at this local 7-Eleven in the middle of Texas nowhere. I was like, yo, hey, if you don't got no cardboard for my hot dogs, how am I supposed to get hot dogs? And I was like, yo, yeah, it was conversation, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, how about Hex? You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's a small start, but, we got our local 7-Eleven. Yeah, they might want me out of there, but they're going to want Hex in there. That's all I'm saying.
All right. All right.
That's you're muted, brother.
Mando
Do
for
you
the
guys
win.
do they get a percentage for onboarding people, like a referral or something?
They
You talking about for Hex or for what?
Because they keep saying they onboard people. I was wondering why they would be interested in doing that. I know there used to be a referral link. I don't know if they still do that.
Because the more
No,
people
that's
that
a
it's just
that's a
satisfaction.
buy, the more adoption we get.
They do it to grow the community and to pump everybody's bags. There's no personal gain in it for them.
Yeah, collective effort.
This is random. I kind of wish Richard Hart would make a privacy coin, like similar to Monero or something, but his own. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
What does a coin like this do? I'm not too familiar with Monero.
Basically, you can't see balances or transactions unless you give them permission to. So nobody can know what you do with your assets, how much you hold, or where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. I wish that you could just make your wallet address private so that it's not on Etherscan. Anyone who knows your address can look in your wallet and see what coins you have on Etherscan.
Right. Well, with privacy coins, I don't want to name any specifics because it's other projects, but you can't do that with privacy coins. That's why I really like privacy coins. I kind of wish Richard Hart would make his own. I feel like he'd make a really good one, the best one, in fact.
Like
I feel like
ZK Snarks, Spiffy?
what's that? Was that you, Mando?
No, this is kinetics, like ZK Snarks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What were you saying?
I'm asking you, is that like ZK Snarks technology where it's like anonymous transfers and stuff like that?
I've never heard of that, but yeah, everything is just private on there, and I don't know too terrible much about it. But I feel like part of the reason why Richard Hart wouldn't do that is because a lot of people with bad intentions use privacy coins, which would make sense, and I feel like that might be a reason why Richard Hart wouldn't make one. But I think a big part of decentralization is also privacy. And if anybody disagrees with me, please feel free to share. But I was just curious because Richard Hart he makes everything better in my opinion, and he's really into crypto, and I feel like he would make a really good privacy coin.
Maybe that's something in the works with the wallet. That could be the good place for it.
Which brings up my question earlier. Can a privacy coin be deployed on a public ledger or can it not? Does it have to be set on its own? And if so, what tokenomics are involved?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I believe inherently that there deserves to be a public ledger coin, that there always needs to be a privacy coin on any blockchain. But I'm hoping that somewhere smarter than me can answer that. Are there any devs in here?
There is nobody in here that is going to speak to a privacy coin on Pulsechain.
Do you need a privacy coin if you have a mixer like a Tornado Cash?
It helps.
Didn't they just get shut down not too long ago? Or some kind of lawsuit?
Can you sue autonomy? Like sue Monero? I don't know how that works.
Right. I just thought there was like, you know, like they knew a group or someone in control of the Tornado Cash. I don't know. I've never used it, so, and I don't know much about it. I just know what it does. That's about it.
Those tokens become valuable in terms of their utility if your whole purpose is to be 100% anonymous in what you do in terms of your spends, your swaps, which means that you are not interested nor comply with any type of KYC, which signifies that you're not interested in converting your crypto to any type of fiat. The majority of people in crypto are not using crypto for that.
Talking dirty to me.
I read an article recently that these stable coins, they're thinking about the point at which you use them, you have to provide your KYC in order to use a proper stable coin. So the world of crypto and regulation, which we're all accepting as compliance and a good thing, we're going down a path, a slippery slope with crypto of the wrong way of what these privacy coins are trying to do. And no one seems to be very interested in promoting the utility of privacy coins. There is a small group, of course, who want to use their crypto anonymously every day with transactions, of course, whether it's the dark web or whatever it is. But that group is not representing the majority of mainstream crypto users.
But we're here and we're here to stay. Regardless of what platform, whether it's cheaper fees, whether it's tax evasion, which is false to begin with. It's taxation is theft without representation, right? This is all a scam, and we have rights to our privacy.
Yeah, I hear you, but the way we're going in crypto is more and more KYC, not less.
That means there needs to be a resistance.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah, I kind of agree with stay away from KYC.
Well, resistance is, is a part of the equation. You just can't be resistant to innovation, right? And you need influence. You can't just be resistant to everything. I mean, I understand what you're saying and agree with the principles, but you need innovation, you need leadership, you need influence.
Decentralization is what we need. The influence is decentralization. This is where it starts.
Yes, I agree, but fundamentally we give it all back when we get back into fiat. So all the decentralization is on the crypto side, but then we're so eager to give it all back when we convert into fiat, which means you have to go through deals with a bank, which deals with KYC, which deals with money transfers and all the good stuff that happen with that. And for anyone who is willing and supposed to be paying their taxes, once you get in that lane, you're not coming out.
So, guys, are we allowed to talk about the wallet that Richard Hart is going to implement? Maybe.
Yes.
So, what is the? What is the benefit of the wallet? And will there be a sacrifice?
More than likely, yes.
So the wallet itself, will it have a coin?
More than likely, yes.
And what are their fundamentals for the wallet?
Probably deflationary, probably the same things that he believes in now.
Yeah, just improving upon MetaMask, whatever wallets have been out there. You'll survey those and see their problems and put solutions and improvements on them. And upon
So have they figured out when they will start the sacrifices?
When is not a decision we're talking on now. It's
I had to finish the first project, right? Upon further research on privacy coins, I don't think Richard will do a privacy coin based on the fact that U.S. and other countries are regulating against that for anti-money laundering regulations. And he wants to steer clear and running his efforts and his projects like that, per se on the making sure it's not deemed a security. First of all, he's jumping those hurdles and dodging those pitfalls. So I don't think he'll do it.
100%, but that leaves perfect opportunity for people like us to create such things if possible. And if that void does exist, somebody along the lines in this community needs to make it happen.
Yeah, it would be a third party for sure.
So going back to the wallet thing, so the wallet will be like a hot wallet.
I think it's just going to be an operating system like MetaMask, but Richard's going to create it, and it's supposed to be, the reason why this Richard was aspired to make it. There was some like new network, and I'm sure someone can go into better detail. There was I think it was a new network that was put on, MetaMask, or people were accepting this new network, and the transactions got seized on it by, I guess, the people that run MetaMask. I'm sure someone in here knows better details than I do. If they can, please share. But that was why Richard Hart wanted to make his own wallet, because he liked MetaMask, and then he was like, oh, okay, so MetaMask isn't truly decentralized. I'm going to make my own.
Nothing was seized, right? There were two things that happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Nothing was seized. The transactions were they were prevented, stopped. Nothing was taken. I'm sorry. Thank you for. Please continue.
Yeah. So there was two things that happened. I forget exactly what the second one was, but the first thing was basically they shut down usage of transactions in Russia and I believe Venezuela at the same time. Because of Russia's aggressions against Ukraine. But it wasn't actually MetaMask, it was Infura, right? Infura is the RPC servers that MetaMask is configured to use to basically put your transactions into the mempool. That is a configurable setting, and you can go in and change your RPC settings to someone else. It just so happens that Infura is like, the best, have the best nodes, the most reliable nodes, so that's who they use. Or you could have just used a VPN to get around the limitations. And then at the same time, there was some kind of an issue where there was a bunch of scam coins that were going on, and like, I forget what, it was like 4,000 coins got flagged or more at one time. And I believe, did Hex get put on that list at the time? Or no, the sacrifice address. Sorry. There was like 4 to 10,000 addresses that got flagged, like within the same day, basically. And basically, the sacrifice address, I think, was one of them, if I remember right. But I'm a little foggy on that detail, but I'm pretty sure it basically got blocked, and then the devs put in a ticket, and it got unblocked, within a few hours. So yeah, I mean, it's not truly 100% decentralized. They rely on other people as well, just like any wallet really should, right? You have to strike a balance between protecting the users and being freely decentralized. So the fact that MetaMask actually has the setting where they can actually change the RPC settings means that you can get around those limitations when they're put in place. So it wasn't the wallet itself that put those limitations into place. It was the Infura, right? So then you got to get into the whole politics of Infura and who owns them.
And from what I'm researching here, it looks like it seems to be possible to create a privacy token on the ERC20 blockchain. There is a void and it needs to be created.
Well, I mean, there are there is an implementation of the Tornado protocol already.
That sounds good news. Are you able to elaborate further?
I mean, they basically just use the same protocol that the Tornado used, and they created another one. If you go into the altcoin group, you can go figure out what the name is. It's actually one of the first coins that was, or contracts that was created for Pulsechain. I think it may be like the first one, actually. Have the link to the altcoin group.
I like what I'm learning. Because we have the trifecta, we have the PulseX, we got the Pulsechain, and we got the HEX, right? We're gonna need a privacy token. Whoever makes that, right? He's gonna make the wallet. That makes that. The fiat on-ramp is that, how does the fiat on-ramp work? Is that KYC, or is that just put your card info in and you got crypto?
I mean, does it really matter? I guess is my question. Because if the governments really want to know, right, they're going to figure it out. Whoever's going to accept your card, whoever's got the money move license, can always hand over those transaction records to the government, right, to the tax authorities, and I'm sure they can go figure out whose bank card is whose. So just because you're not filling out a KYC form with a third party, don't assume that your transactions aren't going to be tracked in the future.
We can't. I understand that, but we can't just settle with that, can we?
Well, I mean, you can't have a bridge that doesn't connect to both sides, right? Like you can't put fiat money in without having one foot in the fiat world. If you have one foot in the fiat world, that means that you're going to have, KYC one way or another, right? Whether it's direct or indirect, they're going to know, right? You can't just go and take, $100 bills and start stuffing it into a random ATM machine or whatever. That's not going to work either, right? That's going to be a business.
We can throw it through a money spinner, though.
Again, these are all.
Let's get this type of talk out of the chat, man. All right. Let's just take this stuff out of the chat. You want to talk about tax stuff and all this crazy shit? Just shouldn't be in here.
Yeah, it's not even worth really hiding, right? Because what are you hiding from, right, at that point? By hiding your gains, right, not declaring them, then you're basically hiding from everyone that you know, right? You won't be able to live in the same country, right? Because they're going to come after you. So then you're going to have to go run. So then you can't be with your family or friends. And so it just leads down a bad path, right? Just declare it, try to figure out, the lawful way to basically pay the least that that you're obligated to. But, there's not really a reason, especially with this, if we're looking at, 10,000x, right? Why you would have to basically hide it and run the rest of your life. It didn't turn out well for McAfee, and it's probably not going to turn out well for anyone else who tries it. So it's just, it's a bad idea.
A bad idea, maybe. A thought that needs to be entertained, sure.
There is going to be a pulse faucet, correct?
Yeah, there'll be a few of them actually.
Okay, cool. Because I think the wallet that I'm getting all my PulseX on isn't gonna get any Pulsechain, so I'll need some way to get Pulse to be able to do transactions and.
So if you sacrifice for PulseX, you're going to get some Pulsechain.
No, really. Like, got a rough idea of how much?
I believe it's one.
One pulse.
Wait, that if I'm understanding right, that sounds too good to be true. So for every PulseX I'm getting a Pulsechain.
No. If you sacrificed whatever amount for PulseX, you will get one Pulsechain so that you can run some transactions.
Per wallet address.
Correct. You could have sacked $1 million for PulseX. You're going to get one PLS token, one PLS coin.
Okay, I got you. Thank you, Mando.
Don't forget if you hold any ETH, that'll be copied over as Pulse as well.
Yeah, don't hold any ETH. Yeah, but that's true.
At a fraction, all right. 1,000,000 to 1 or something like that. 1.2. 2.
Nah, it's a 1-to-1 ratio with the ETH. 1 ETH gets you 1 pulse. 10 ETH gets you 10 pulse.
Does 0.005 ETH get you the same amount of pulse? 0.005 pulse?
I believe so.
Thinking about the value, beginning value is at 1.2 million to 1, right? Or 1 over 1.2 million. Or is it 10,000? Is that what I'm thinking? Oh, sounds good. We'll talk later.
What did you ask, brother?
I was talking about how you get diluted, getting the copy for the ETH to the Pulse. It's 1-to-1, but yeah. The value of it at the end of the day. Like you get less incentive to hold ETH as an ERC getting a copy as far as anything else.
Yep, I was like, oh, cool copies. And then I was like, oh, I'm just going to sacrifice everything.
I missed that boat.
Yeah, it's funny. I was some of you know this already. I've been keeping up with Richard Hart before Hex even launched. And I was just getting into crypto, and I was using a centralized exchange, and I had Bitcoin. I had like, $1,000 worth. How many Satoshis that was, I don't know at the time. But Richard Hart was like, yes, my project will be free to Bitcoin holders who have Bitcoin on private keys. And I was like, what the hell is private keys? And I kept looking into it, and I didn't understand it. And I was like, I guess I got it on private keys. I don't know, but it was a centralized exchange. I didn't know how private keys worked. And I was trying to look into it and understand it. And I was like new to it. And I was like, what? I don't know what any of this is. This is like 2018. And I had trouble getting my Telegram to work because I was going to ask the Hex people in the Telegram, like, hey, how do I make sure I get my airdrop? Well, the snapshot already happened, and I asked them, and they were like, what wallet do you have? And I was like, KuCoin, D. And then they were like, no, man, that's KuCoin's Bitcoin, not your keys, not your crypto. And I finally started understanding it, and I missed out on that free Hex airdrop that I could have got, and then Hex went up freaking a whole bunch. I bought some just a little bit later. I bought a little bit, and now it's worth a decent amount. I don't look at it anymore, though, because I got it staked for 5 years, and I'm done staring at it until it's ready to be unstaked.
Yeah, it looks kind of scary right now.
No, nothing. It's just a sale.
Yeah, seasonal trend.
I want to buy Hex. I want to buy PHEX as soon as I have the ability to. I want to be sitting there right when the bridge happens with money ready to go and buy PHEX ASAP.
You and me both, brother. Anywhere at the beginning of the chart's good. Yeah.
Yep, I watched Richard Hart all the time, and then I took a break, and then I was sitting with my girlfriend, and I was like, man, I haven't watched a Richard Hart video in a while. This was in 2020. I was like, man, I haven't kept up with him in such a long time. And then he made a live stream, or I watched one of his live streams that had already happened, and I kept seeing this thing about Pulsechain. I'm like, what the hell is this? And he's like, I'm creating my own crypto that's like Ethereum. And I was like, oh wow. And he explained why, and I was like, yes, yeah, Ethereum's pissing me off too. And I was like, holy shit, I have another opportunity. You know, I feel like this will be maybe even bigger than Hex.
Yeah, no doubt. It's much more bodacious. All right, a whole layer one and a whole DEX and then a wallet to come after. It's crazy.
Did you back out of the chat, Mandalorian? You still here?
Yeah, I think he took off for the night.
Yeah, that's fine. I just just a random question I wanted to ask him. It wasn't Pulse related.
Now, who will be our Huckleberry?
On hardware wallets, you can create. So I know you can create multiple wallets, but could I create another set of keys on the hardware wallet? Would I have to factory reset it and then create a new set of keys?
You can only have one at a time. The only way that you can change if you want to mix it is just to use this passphrase stuff.
I can barely hear you. It's really difficult to hear you. I don't know if you can get closer to your mic or something.
Yeah, you can only have one set of keys at a time. So if you want to change your keys, you really need to change them in there. The only way that you can have a new set of address is if you use the passphrase option.
So like I have wallets that I made on my hardware wallets. I couldn't like create a new set of keys and have two separate ones. I know I can make two different wallet addresses on one set of keys.
Addresses, you can have as many as you want, linked to the same keys. But a new set of keys, currently it is not. All the hardware wallets that at least I know, they only accept one set of keys at a time.
Right, yeah, I know. You can't have two at the same time. So I'm saying like, so I have my wallet on there now. Could I factory reset it and create a new one and then just
Yes.
one? Okay. All right. Thank you, Hex Fetty.
Then, if you understood, you can switch between them by factor or by migrating or typing in your phrases into the hardware wallet to access whichever wallets or whichever keys.
I'm pretty sure you know this, right? But just make sure, because
one at
if
a
you
time.
just make sure, because if you reset that thing, you will lose everything inside. So all the money will still be on the blockchain, but you will have no access to it unless you have the key somewhere stored safely.
Yes, sir. Understood.
What are you guys currently doing with your HEX? If you don't mind me asking, do you have it staked?
No. Who stakes Hex? Why would you do that? I'm sorry. I'm being a smartass. Yes, my Hex is staked, and I sacrificed all my liquid Hex. I just don't see what else would you do with your Hex. I don't see why anybody would just keep it liquid. If there's a reason for it, please share.
I think some people are afraid it's going to shoot way up and they're going to have it staked and can't touch it and miss it, and then it, takes a drop again. My only guess. Personally, I don't have any hits. I missed that boat.
See, you got it all wrong, pimp. You, there's no the boat is. It's not something. That's not how it works. You know. But we'll see. As Pulse launches, we'll see Hex be able to finally like take off and not have anything, no bottleneck or no nothing. You know the problem it had in this first run, right? Is Ethereum became unusable. Everybody in the chat know that.
No, what I'm saying is, I talked to a friend of mine. He was actually one of the fortunate ones to get into Hex, and he had most of his stake at the time where it went up to, I guess, around 50 cents or stuff like that. And I think he had like a 1 year stake on it, and it dropped. So he missed out on that opportunity to even exchange a little bit of it. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have changed all of it anyway, but just to get a little bit of that profit out. That's what I mean by, missing it when it shoots up before it comes back down.
I understand that, but see, some of the things that like we don't speak about in here enough is some of like the fundamental like trading the mindset of people that are in crypto, actually not fundamentals, the mindset of current crypto investors and traders, and it's unhealthy because we think from whatever reason we want to get more trades, more positive trades. But actually, we hear from our age and we're understanding on our own that it's actually time in the market that's better. You could have bought in at the top at 2013, the top, and then waited 2014 and it's got a higher high. You could have bought in the top of 2014 of all the days, not even buying the dip, and then 2015 you got a higher high. So it's like it's year after year of gains. So it means when you monetize time that way, that's why we lock it up, because we know we don't need it now or next year, but we want it to hit critical adoption to where everyone's locking it up, and then
sending it out. And then with more use case and people even being able to make smaller stakes and have smaller gains because it doesn't cost an arm and a leg in Gwei. Smaller stakers or people that are putting smaller lesser amounts of hex for lesser amount of time can still come out on top, right? Because it doesn't cost so much for to stake and unstake. So now we're going to see hex on Pulsechain really thriving because it's going to be actually used by everyone the way it's intended, right? To get your gains out after time locking. Time locking is the mechanism. It's got a time lock mechanism. That's why it's a better Bitcoin, because Bitcoin doesn't have anything like that built in. No smart contract to where you can get more Bitcoin just for holding Bitcoin. Here you get more hex just for holding hex. That's the point of it, holding it. And holding it liquid, you don't get the utility of that. You miss the person misses the point for the hex utility. What's the use case? Holding it, time locking it gets you more hex. Now, when you do that math, you do the Ethereum, you're like, oh wait, I got more hex, but it cost me more hex than that to unstake it. Oh, okay. Ethereum is broken. It doesn't work on Ethereum. It doesn't the scaling issue.
Yeah, I definitely agree 100% with everything you just said right there. I was just responding back to the gentleman's question about, where he stated that he couldn't think of a reason why someone would want to hold it liquid. I didn't say that it was a good reason. I was just saying that that would be a reason why some people would. And you have to keep in mind that
Oh,
some people
absolutely.
have some people have emergency situations, and some people are in their 70s, man, and they want to get their money while they still can. You know what I mean?
That's right. So for people that want to plan for their future children or their generations or themselves 15 years down the line, who can say, even I'm a Christian, so even the Bible says, who can say months from now we can do anything, right? It's anything by the grace of God. So we can't, tomorrow's not promised today, right? But if we do have like a bag or two or a couple hardware wallets sent out 5 years, 7 years, 15 years, okay, you have a few stakes as a staking ladder. But for the short-term staking ladder, maybe anything shorter than 2 years or 3 years, it's not going to work on Ethereum currently unless you put a decent amount of money in there for each of those stakes, because it costs so much to unstake on Ethereum. So holding a liquid, if you haven't done that math, it's all good. That's fine. Any type of stake is going to work on Pulse though. Little stake, medium stake, all as many stakes as you want. You don't really have to dial in the math. No math required. Just just throw it out there for a little bit. You'll get some kind of returns on it. It's gonna be sweet. And why am I saying that? Oh, holding liquid right now, and anytime with any token, regardless if it's smart contract function or time locking, and just holding, it means you get at least chance to ride the price action, right? But it looks. I mean, what's that been like since September? So I think the price action. Now I'm kind of just going into just branding now. But after Pulse launches, that's when we're gonna see, not only price parity, but I think new all-time highs, man. So when you say miss the boat, I think I could be, what's it called, interpreting what I think you meant when you said it, and but let me just say, because the boat is not missed, and whatever you put on the one boat, you get two boats because right, it's gonna duplicate. So let's assume we can get close to all-time high again, which is 50 cents. From here, what are we at? 8 cents? That's like a 6x. Yeah. Okay. So you get a 6x on one side, but because we're duplicating, it's like two 6x's. Does that make it 12? And that's just a hit back to all-time high. Now, what stopped us from all-time high this last time in September was we all thought we were going to get Pulsechain then. then we had a PulseX Sacrifice, and now here we are. So it's really Pulse and PulseX Sacrifice phases, right? And then the wind in our sails, and then delayed waiting, right? That's making the price look like this. But no one missed no boats, bros.
Yeah, what I mean by miss the boat is just, you didn't get in on that sacrifice. I mean, if you come in after the sacrifice, if you, like I am, a year and a half, 2 years later, if you didn't get in on that sacrifice, then pretty much you'll never see that 10,000x. I mean, the price of Hex could go up to $5. It could go up to
No, man, you got it
$5
all wrong.
right now.
You got it all wrong, man. A lot of dudes won't say this because they're moon boys. But you know what? If it trades, there's something called the volume bonus multiplier. And long story short is dudes that sacked a lot got more tokens than what normal sacrificers got. It just means that they've got a threshold for breaking even that's different. So they can make mad gains selling their huge stacks, providing liquidity, yeah, and um, just and then still okay. What I'm saying is the price can go down. That's what I'm trying to say. We're gonna still have to find a floor, and some dudes won't say it. Some dudes won't say, "Oh, hey, it won't drop below a certain price." There's no way. Who are they to say that? No one can say that about anything, man. So, uh, you just DCA it, and you're still early, you know. But besides, RH of all these, RH made it such a point. There's no guarantee, no expectation from the profit from the work of others. No expectation of profit from the work of others. So, what does that mean? What does that mean if someone says that? Man, you could come in with a big bag of tokens, right? Pulse, in this case, Pulse or PulseX, with not as much USD as you put in. And how about this? You might not know this about sacrificers. A lot of dudes had to realize that the hard way, so they didn't understand how the ratcheting went down with the amount of tokens per dollar. So they blew their load when probably a lot of these dudes wish they held half of that as dry powder on the side here for when we launch. That's true.
Giggity.
Yeah, I think to answer the original question, if you were to come in here and say, hey, I want to do a ladder, I accumulated some hex, in the sub 5-6 cent range. I want to do ladders, 6 months out, a year out. Every single person in this chat would tell you to wait, wait for the airdrop to keep it liquid. So there's certain situations where, look, maybe you missed the Pulse Sacrifice. You got into PulseX. You have been accumulating liquid hex because you would rather do that than hold USDC. But your intention is to acquire PLS because you missed the sacrifice. That's a strategy. So I don't think it was a stupid question. I think there's many answers to that question, and people have their own preferences on how they think things are going to go. Flighty guy, I see your hand up, but I don't see any mods in the room, so I have to wait till someone jumps in here. If there's a mod in here, Flighty guy has his hand up.
Flighty guy, I don't know if you remember me, but if it has to do with all those different keys you had, if you want, you can message me. I can try to help you because I definitely want you to be able to find where those assets went. I don't think any mods will be coming in this late at night because most of them are from the US. And it's 2 a.m. where I'm at. I just woke up at midnight, can't go back to sleep.
Yep, 2 a.m. here in Houston, Texas, just driving through, looking at the beautiful lights in the city and enjoying some good pulse information.
You're just driving, are you a trucker or you're just driving your personal vehicle around?
Oh, yeah, I'm a trucker, coast to coast.
Cool, man. I live in the most dangerous city in the country.
New York? No?
Michigan.
Louis.
I thought it was Washington, D.C.
What was that again? Where'd you
No,
live?
St. Louis is the
St.
most
Louis?
dangerous city. St. Louis is the most dangerous city because all the crime and murders, with how small St. Louis is, it's considered the most. So Detroit has more crime and murders, but Detroit is a way bigger city than St. Louis. So compared to the size of St. Louis, it's considered the most dangerous because of how much crime and murder compared to how small it is and how crammed it is. That the odds are increased because it's smaller.
So that's
If that
per
makes sense.
capita.
Yeah, so per capita, you're saying most dangerous.
You ought to open up a Kevlar warehouse out there.
Been through there a few times myself. I can't say I've been to the rough part of the city, but yeah, I drove through there, seen the arch, out there, nice city.
Yep, I've lived out here my whole life. I've never been in the Arch.
Oh, okay. I've always
I
kind of
want,
wanted to do that, just not the
yeah, I
right
want
time.
to too. I will someday. I don't really live deep in the city. I live kind of in the middle of nowhere, St. Louis, out in the woods. But I go to the city. I like live music. I like, as much crime as there is in St. Louis, I love St. Louis. I've never had any problems yet. I've had friends that do, and I know that there is a lot that goes on there. And I'm sure one day I might have some kind of issue. It's bound to happen one day. But I love St. Louis. There's so much to do, so much music, so much art, so much talent. I love that city so much.
Gotcha. So what's the deal with the world famous St. Louis ribs? Are they really that good over there?
I mean, I've had some pretty good ribs. I don't know about St. Louis having good ribs, but I know they got a lot of good food there.
Yeah, we always hear about St. Louis style ribs, and I don't actually know what that is.
I don't either. I eat a lot of different ribs, but there's a lot of good food all over in St. Louis. What was I gonna say? Oh man, I forgot. What I was gonna say. I totally forgot. It was something related. Oh, I remember what it was now. You were talking about food in St. Louis. The toasted ravioli came from St. Louis. It was made by accident. Someone had a bunch of raviolis made, and then they fell into a deep fryer on accident. And then the kitchen people were like, no, let it go. And then they let it cook for a little bit and they pulled it out and they said, let's try breading that and throwing it back in the deep fryer. And then they made one with breading and throw it in there. And that's how the toasted ravioli came about. There's a couple other real popular foods that were made in St. Louis too, but the only one I can remember now is the toasted ravioli.
That sounds good, man. If you had some shrimp ravioli or lobster ravioli.
Yeah, I'd definitely try it.
Have any of you guys eaten at like a Red Lobster?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got a few of those in North Carolina. I'm actually from North Carolina. Yeah, we
Right
got a
on.
few of those over there.
Yeah.
I like the biscuits at the Red Lobster.
No, yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. So I have this idea. Those biscuits are so good. I was wanting to take that biscuit recipe and make it into a hot dog bun, but it's a Red Lobster biscuit hot dog bun, and put a lobster tail in there like it's the hot dog meat. What do you think of that? Does that sound gross or does that sound good?
No, it sounds good as hell.
I don't know. I mean, biscuit bread is kind of thick to eat with lobster like that, though. It's like you have a mouthful of bread and very little meat. You know what I mean? But I'm no chef or food connoisseur, so I can't tell you what's going to sell.
Right. No, it wasn't really so much trying to sell it kind of thing. It just was an idea of mine. I'm no chef either. I do barbecue really well too, but I'm actually I'm probably gonna stop eating meat here. It's really wearing me out, or I might eat less meat, like eat meat once a week, or I might just not eat it at all. But I really like barbecue, but meat lately has just been really slowing me down and just really wearing me out and messing with my heart.
It'll screw up your metabolism, my friend.
Yeah, too much of anything ain't good for you.
But I do love good barbecue. There used to be a place in Georgia called the Old Hickory House. This is going back to the 70s and 80s. My old man and I used to go to Atlanta once or twice a year from New England, and that place was awesome. They had like a 45-foot long open pit inside of the restaurant. Shit. It was just incredible.
Yes, smoked barbecue is my favorite. Smoked fish, smoked pork, everything. I like it slow cooked and that smoky taste. It's my favorite.
Oh yeah, I like it when the barbecue sauce is really, really thick and it's almost a little bit burnt, so it's crispy in spots.
Oh yeah, that's me. Black it, blackened. That's that's how I like it too, especially my ribs. Now, if you want
I
really good ribs, and I drive all over, there's a place in Arkansas off of I-30 called Nick's Barbecue. Now they have some of the best ribs I've ever tasted right there, and
think
they have that smoke flavor like you're
most
talking
people
about.
don't realize it. Barbecue is really unique to this country, and you go around the world, and I've been all over the world, and I've been to some countries where I've seen people attempt to do barbecue, and I cook some up myself and try to push it on the locals. So like, oh my God, this is so good, and you wonder why people, because it's so simple to make, and it's just fire sauce. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely Europe could use some of our culture, and they got a few foods over there that we could use here too. I love the food back in Germany. Lived there for 10 years, and I kind of miss some of that stuff. But they definitely don't know how to do a barbecue, like you said.
No way. Were you stationed over in Germany?
Yeah, yeah. I was only in the military for 4 years, but I got out and stayed.
You only need to be in the military 40 minutes to die.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and I got out right at the beginning, well, at the end of Desert Storm. That's back in '91.
Yeah, you're about the same age as me then. Same age group. I'll tell you what, as funny as it sounds, some of the best grilled, flame broiled meats I've ever had were Iranian food when I was in Dubai and a few other places like Lebanon and the Middle East. And the Iranians really know how to make fire grilled meats. They're experts.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know, one of the foods that I liked when I was in Germany, it was actually done by Turkish people. I don't know if you've heard of they call it a doner kebab.
Oh yeah. Doner
Yeah,
kebab is the best,
yeah,
man. That's where everyone clear out the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning, get ready to go home. Everyone hits the local kebab shop on the way home, get one of those doner kebabs, man. That's a meal.
yep, yeah, it sure is.
Yeah,
That
I like the
Doritos
donor.
bun with all that lamb on there and lettuce, tomatoes. Oh man, and that special sauce.
Yeah, it's like a Greek sauce. It's almost like a Greek tzatziki sauce. It's a little bit of sour cream, cucumber that's finely pureed in there, and a lot of garlic, fresh garlic pureed in there. That's what gives it that spike. Getting so fucking hungry talking about this shit, man. About to fucking go to the kitchen.
Yeah, me too. No kidding. You know, you guys are talking about sauce. What makes meat really good, and that is a big factor. But what really is the biggest factor is how well the beef was, or how well the animal was taken care of. And I say that because I live with my grandparents, and we raise cattle, and we used to have hogs and chickens too. And I can guarantee you that you probably haven't had a steak better than what comes from my cows, and it's because they're in better conditions than
Oh, my friend, I will tell you something right now. As long as we're on that subject, I'll pay you the extra money. I only buy grass-fed beef these days. I won't eat anything else but grass-fed beef. And yeah, I got to go to Whole Foods to buy it. It's more than the local Stop and Shop or whatever. But grass-fed beef is the way to go. If you're not eating grass-fed beef, you're crazy.
well, I would have so grass fed beef is better for you. It has better it doesn't have all that, starch and stuff in it, but it does not, maybe that's you, but it does not taste as good as a grain fed. But grass fed is leaner and is better for you health wise, but it does not taste as good as a grain fed cow. But some people are different. Everyone's different, but the majority of people, they want grain fed. But the people that are into health, they want grass fed. And I'll eat either or, but if I had a choice,
I like it because it's a little bit leaner, but yeah, and I'm sure even with grain fed, you get a good steak. You don't need no fucking steak sauce. Salt and pepper is all you need on it if it's proper beef.
yeah, I absolutely agree. If I'm out of town and I go to a restaurant to get a steak, which I almost never do because I got my own beef and it's way better. But if I go to a high end restaurant, I'll go to a high end restaurant and I get a steak just to see if I could find beef that tastes better than mine. And I've been to a handful of high end restaurants and none of them compare to what I raise here. And I absolutely agree that some salt and pepper is all it needs. It don't need any sauce. If I go to a high end restaurant and they ask me if I want steak sauce, I go, I hope not. I hope I don't need any steak sauce.
No, absolutely. I mean, I live in Connecticut, and Greenwich, Connecticut, where I live is, the hedge fund capital of the world, as I've told a lot of people in here before. And you got every type of restaurant you want. These guys are all heavy hitters up here. And there's just one steakhouse in town, and I go in there usually on my birthday every year. The steak after it's cooked is about 2 3/4 inches thick, and it is just, it's a magnificent steak. And yeah, every time they come out with this little silver platter with steak sauces of every type on there, so no, I'm just salt and pepper, man. That's it, man. It's good meat. And if you sear the meat properly to keep all the juices and gravy inside it, it's going to cook well. And it's going to be great. The trick is searing it.
Oh, I forgot. Flighty guy messaged me like 10 minutes ago. I might have to back out of here and try to help him with whatever he's muted right now, and there's no mods. And for those of you that don't know, Flighty guy is he's going through chemotherapy right now, and he's trying to stack up some crypto, and he accidentally put it into a wallet that he's got a whole bunch of keys, and he's trying to find his assets, and he's trying to leave something behind for his family because he's going through chemo and all that good stuff, and I really want to make sure he gets a hold of those assets and all that stuff. So I might back out, and if he responds back, he messaged me about 10 minutes ago, and I completely forgot to reply back to him. So hopefully,
I see Link
it's
replied to him in
tough
the
when
main
there's no
chat.
admins in here to open up the door.
I see Lank replied to him in the main chat, Spiffy. But I don't see Lank here in the chat.
well, hopefully he's getting his questions answered. That's all I want. I really hope he gets a hold of that crypto. I remember we explained to him what to do and how to find it, because we sent him to Etherscan, and he found it in a wallet, but he's got like 25 different sets of private keys. Like you got to enter them in individually.
Did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened the next day though?
No, I was there. He was going to do all that, and then he flatlined in the hospital, he said.
Yeah.
So
he was like,
able to get that done. But no,
asking him what.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but no, that's why I want him to find those assets ASAP, because if he's really in that bad of shape, I really want him to find that stuff, because that's freaking sad, man.
Yeah, I know. I just lost my mom last month to stomach cancer. It all was very sudden. She found out she had it and was dead from it in less than 4 weeks.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry to hear that, man.
I'd be sorry. She's in a better place.
God, that's hard.
Yeah, my mother, she has she had just graduated from college to be a nurse practitioner, and she only worked for like a year, maybe 6 months, and then she started having some health problems, and she's damn near a doctor. A nurse practitioner is like a step below a doctor, for those of you that don't.
Oh yeah.
But she kept going and getting these checkups, and they kept telling her she's fine, and she's like, look, I'm a nurse practitioner, I'm telling you something's wrong. And for like a year and a half, they kept telling her she was fine. Well, it turns out she had cancer, and it got to stage 4. In a year and a half, she kept telling them something was wrong. And finally, when they diagnosed her with cancer, and it was already freaking stage 4, after a year and a half, she kept telling them something's wrong, and they kept telling her no, that you're fine. She finally got chemo, and on top of that, they gave her the wrong type of chemo. Like oh my God, it just infuriates me. But she's still around, but she has like no energy. She got chemo, it went away, it came back. Now she's going through chemo again, and and she had just went through all that.
Versed in that, amigo, because my neighbor, he's a real good friend of mine. I live in a townhouse complex, and he's been going through the chemo ordeal for close to 3 years now. He had bone cancer, and I've seen what he's been through, and I help him out in any way that I can, whether it's watching his dogs or taking him grocery shopping. And it's horrible to see someone go through that. It's excruciatingly painful, and it just totally destroys quality of life.
Okay. All right. Well, Flighty guy just messaged me. I'm going to back out of here, and I'm going to chat with him on Telegram, and I'm going to try to help him out. So I don't know if I'll be back while you guys are still on here, but if I
hey, God bless, prayers to Flighty guy.
Well,
yeah,
just Stiffy, if you try to get back, you probably won't get in.
And
How do you
everyone
get unmuted if you leave?
everyone who's lost loved ones to cancer and is battling cancer, you know, good luck and bless you all. But I'm gonna go help him, and if I don't see you guys in like a few minutes, I'll see you guys next time and all that good stuff. But it's good talking to y'all. I'm out. Peace out.
All right, have a good one.